Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the House of Dreams, a season's oath, a Wanderhome journey. Once again, welcome to the House of Dreams, fantastical worlds, mythic beasts, and wondrous tales. Set your imagination free. We are a TTRPG actual play collective led by queer, BIPOC, and marginalized folks. I'm Okami, and I will be your guide. Today, we present Chapter 2 of A Season's Oath, a Wanderhome actual play series of hope, exploration, and deep magic. This game will lean deep into themes of folklore punk. It's a West Marches, hexcrawl, and OSR inspired journey with a core cast of travelers joined by guest travelers who weave in and out of the journey. All of them seeking to understand a magic bestowed upon them by the venerable and forgotten gods of flame, form, dark, and wind. A journey that will take them to many forgotten and sacred places all over Haeth. The series will showcase the full rules of Wanderhome by Possum Creek Games, including seasons, holidays, guest playbooks and natures, and J Dragon's Patreon homebrew magic rules, which you too can also have for yourselves if you join J Dragon's Patreon at a $10 tier. So for the second chapter, we are raising funds for Project Hope for LA wildfire relief. To donate to the cause, you'll see a Tiltify link in the chat, or you can use the QR code in the overlay. Please donate if you can. And we also have some fun incentives to add color and wonder to our journey. For $5, you can gift a token to our group of travelers that any of them may use. For $15, you can introduce a new Kith, one of the NPCs, any of the named NPCs that they have not met yet on the journey will be brought in immediately to the scene. And if they've met all of the named NPCs of the place they're visiting, well, we'll make up a new one and have them come and join and interact with everyone. For $25, you can introduce a relic, which is a type of kith that is an inanimate object that is a magical item. It confers a supernatural trait onto the player, the traveler that's wielding it, as if they themselves were a kith instead of a traveler. Every single one of these is going to have a little piece of Haeth lore that goes along with it, and it's going to happen through rolling on a special chart. For $25, you can also confer a magic trait that one of the travelers may gain. And this would be the first tier in a three-step tier of magic. And it will be of the traveler's choice. We have a donation goal of $50. So every $50 spent, it will awaken a folklore, which simply means the folklore of one of the folklore of the place that they're exploring will immediately be brought into the scene as soon as we hit the goal. Or if we're already in the middle of a scene or the RP is intense and we don't want to interrupt the flow, we'll bring it in the next scene. So now that we've gone over our incentives, now let's introduce our two travelers because we're doing a very special duo game. Wanderhome can be played in all manner of ways, including solo, duo, trio, as I'm your guide.
Trio, yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing a trio game, and let's introduce our travelers. Let's go ahead and start with Tomas. Please, your name, your pronouns, and the character that you're playing. Name, playbook, animal type.
All right. Hello there. My name is Tomas Gimenez Rioja. My pronouns are he, him. I come all the way down from Argentina, the country where I am from, and I will be playing today an Axolotl, a creature that is using the archetype of the Fool. Meaning that they will be just causing all sorts of problems and chaos that my two other friends right here will have to solve. I am the troublemaker.
Yeah. Okay, same thing, Aadi.
Hello, people of the internet. I am Aadi MK, he, him. from India, the south of India, and I will be playing Bhaloo, the guardian. He is an Asian black bear or a moon bear, and he's a guardian. And his ward is the little and so cute Louise.
Louise. Uh, and Louise, who I will be portraying along with all the other kith, is an orange orangutan. Uh, and I am, once again, I'm Okami. I'm your guide. I'll be playing all the kith, and I will be facilitating the beautiful place that they will be visiting. So we have to, of course, before we visit a new place, we want to answer these final four questions before our travelers embark. So, what sort of place did we just travel from?
Do you mean as if from last session or
Nope.
from?
Mm-mm, nope.
Okay,
No. It's been
so
at
these are
least
standalones.
it has been a month
A
since the
month.
last session. Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Maybe we could have come from, what do you think? Maybe the mountains?
Hmm. Hmm.
Some place like that. Some mountains that were interconnected by bridges and had
Yeah.
people from all sorts of communities living in harmony together.
Mhm.
They gave us like a small banquet as well, in which we
Mhm.
were invited and managed to play some music and hang out with the locals and learn all sorts of different cultural teachings from them.
Yeah. Do we feel the journey was long? Like were you there briefly and then you've been walking a lot, or were you there for a long time and this is the next place? What does it feel like? Baloo, do you feel it's been
I
long?
I would not say it's long, but I think when we were at the banquet, Louise found some friends, and it has been a while since she has had children her age to play with.
Mhm.
And one of the other cooks had a beautiful recipe for stewed potatoes and beef. I had
Oh,
to get it. So I took some
yes.
time. I stayed there. I exchanged recipes. I gave the cook one my recipe for my secret dumplings. They are delicious.
Now I'm
Delicious.
hungry.
Yes. So you've both temporarily parted ways with Samael and Chuki. Um, and with that as like a creative note, is there somewhere we hope to go?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, what do you say, Ricardo? We've been traveling in the mountains for a while. Mm, maybe go back down to the plains, perhaps. All of this
Okay.
elevation is making my back hurt.
Yeah, we need to take into consideration that you will be taking Luis and Ricardo as
Yeah.
well. So maybe some place to get them to play or something like that.
Yeah.
Have them run
Uh,
around a little.
all right. So you're just trying to find like something flat on the ground and not up in the
Yes,
mountains.
because it has already been 7 times since I stopped Ricardo from falling off an edge.
All right. And finally, but silently in our heads, we answer the question: where is my home?
Hmm.
And with that, our companions make their way out of the foothills down into a vast forested valley. It is rich and green, and I will now go over the place we are visiting and the season that it is. It is the season of bright. Perhaps one of the reasons why you were in the mountains in the higher elevation is because the weather was getting hotter and hotter and hotter. because you are now in Devil Days, the second month of bright, when the sun's heat becomes nigh unbearable.
Oh.
The aesthetics of this month are a calming breeze, parched soil, and dry grass. The signs of the month are long, thin clouds, a lonely lute player, paper fans, and hidden swimming holes. You come upon this deep, rich, green region. It is known as the Viridian Marches, a vast and ancient woodland, a sacred place where the kith of Haeth often take pilgrimages to commune with the forest gods who hold dominion over the woodlands, even beyond the borders of Haeth. This is a place of trees said to be older than time itself, and the birthplace of the violet orchid. Excuse me, the purple orchid. That is two flowers. The birthplace of the purple orchid, holy symbol of the orchid goddess and badge of the rebellion. Now, this place is, as all places, has three natures. It is a garden, a place where everyone has plenty and the world is overflowing with gifts. It is also a hallow, a sacred place where gods and mortals mingle. And it is also a wilderness, a place that holds nature close to its heart, closer than any mortal that dwells within. Two questions that we have to answer. When you arrive at this place, decide a rule that all must follow, and decide what it has in abundance.
Oh.
So,
Like each of us has to choose the two of those, or one each?
collaboratively,
Okay.
we choose one each. So, which one do we want to answer first?
Do you have anything in mind there, Aadi?
Decide a rule that all must follow.
Yes, because it is a hollow, because it is a sacred place.
What do you think about maybe not stepping on flowers? Like maybe the place is like filled with flowers everywhere, but no one is allowed to step on them. They are like sacred of some sort.
Mhm.
Or plants in general.
No, let's go for flowers. Let's keep it specific.
Flowers. Okay.
But I like the idea that they're everywhere. But let's see, Aadi, what do you think? Do you have a counter proposal, or do you like that one?
Yeah, it's a nice rule. I was just thinking, no, let's go with that.
Okay.
It was just that given that this is a place where the gods and mortals mingle, I think Bhaloo would be kind of looking around. We have, what is the lost god that is friends with Louise, who was supposed to be with Ricardo?
Oh, yes, that would be the wonderful, delightful SETI. Yeah,
Seti, yes, right.
yes.
I think he generally kind of does this, but like here, he would, I think, want to, at the end of each night that they're here, have just like, he would make an offering of food and leave it at the, like, the closest kind of big old tree.
Take a token for making an offering to the small and forgotten gods. But what do we want this place to have in abundance?
You have already stated that there are many flowers, so let's go with something different.
An abundance of songbirds.
It's interesting.
It's really interesting.
The music
Um,
overlays and the notes play.
Yeah, maybe people go gather in there and try to do their own music that just works
mhm,
together with the songs from the birds.
right.
Jamming with the birds, baby.
Hmm.
So crickets.
Crickets could work as well. Yeah, maybe many animals and
Remember,
insects.
animals. Yeah, animals are insects.
Mhm.
Oh, right. Yeah, because there are like a songbird would be like what in our world is a human.
Yeah,
So maybe crickets and cicadas and which other animals are known for making a lot of noise?
yeah. We've
Frogs.
got yeah.
Frogs are like people in
Frogs
our
are people.
are not insect.
Yep. Fair, fair, fair.
I
Hmm.
have there's an abundance of singing crickets and cicadas.
Flies, maybe they do the buzzing like
Mm,
bumblebees. I don't know. It's not like that good how they
no,
sound.
I like the idea of the crickets and cicadas
Yeah.
because you can also hunt them for food.
Mhm.
Hmm.
um,
How big are they though?
uh, about the size of birds. There are some
Okay,
crickets. Yeah,
so
It's
like
interesting.
this
Like
big.
this is it's an interesting thing, right? Because I feel Wanderhome is teaching and training all of us that our main protein intake in the future is going to be insects, right? It's just preparing us for that. Yep, yep.
there's entire cultures where the main source of protein is typically insects. And also, something that a lot of people don't like to think about is crawdads and lobster. Those are technically sea insects. But here in the West, we don't like
Right.
to think of it that way. We call it seafood.
Mhm.
But they're not fish.
They are not. Nope.
No. So there is an abundance of singing crickets and cicadas that people love making music with, but are also available for hunting um, to feed people as well.
Mhm.
And these cicadas and crickets are like attracted to the flowers and the foliage
Maybe the
uh,
music as well.
and the music as well. And it's all kind of woven together. So the aesthetics of this place are watchful eyes in the shadows, a well tended shrine, trees older than any empire, a creature assumed to be extinct, which I do have a name for. The creature's name is Valashku, a
Palashku.
giant stag beetle with golden
Oh.
horns and an iridescent carapace. He is the last of his kind, a legendary beast of the era of dragons, who has the power to grant wishes to the pure of heart and grow forests by singing a song from the dawn of existence. He is
Oh.
venerable, miraculous, and mighty. And as far as the rest of Haeth knows, it is assumed that this being is extinct. There are trees overburdened with fruit, and there are outrageously large gourds. This place can always describe the abundance all around us, threaten the health and vitality of the abundance, ask, what do you need most right now? Give them a token if they can't find it here. This place can always describe the gods that live here and their mystery. Offer someone the chance to break this place's rules to make their life easier. Give someone a token when they bend over backwards to respect this place's rules. Describe something massive, sublime, and uncaring. Show the challenges caused by living with nature. And say, Get out of the way! And give everyone who does a token. Describe what enormous thundering force nearly strikes them down.
Ooh.
The folklores. The song at the heart of all things. The 15 sleeping gods. And the old god in the tree. Common animal folk that live here? Squirrels, deers, bears, foxes, hares, and raccoons. The small and forgotten gods take the form of leaf folk, singing breezes, and at night, glowing luna moths.
Oh.
So, what is the first thing the three of you smell when you set foot into the Viridian marshes?
Hmm. Maybe it just rained a little while ago, so the beautiful notes of petrichor mixed with all of the scents of ripe fruit and a small decay that does come with it as well.
Some flowers as well are having their smells coming with the wind. Maybe these purple flowers that you are talking about, I don't know if they have some certain scent. Can
Purple
be
orchids.
the orchids, yeah.
Yeah.
The orchids in the trees.
Louise looks up at you, Ricardo, in awe. I mean, her arm is still, around
My size.
Bhaloo. Uh, and she looks up at you, and she's just like, "Oh, it smells so nice. You smell that?"
Oh, it's talking to me. Sorry. Um,
Yeah.
I can barely smell because this is so hot in here. He's walking with his arms stretched all the way, being all dry from the extreme heat that he's receiving at the moment. I can't smell much, but I'll get some water and smell as well.
Oh, well, maybe we could find some place where there's water.
Hmm. That's a good idea, Cheerling. It's always good to find water. Good things come from water. Mm. Like tea. Come.
Mhm. Okay. And you guys just start heading deeper. It's a little bit of a relief for the three of you. While you're not in the cool mountain air anymore, the trees are so tall, so old that it's almost like a midday twilight. As there's just so much shade from the massive leaves and branches. But every now and then, beams of just bright, hot sunlight penetrate through the canopy and uh, leave sort of little dry patches of grass. Um, and you see these banners that are like hand silk painted with old, writing on it that says very clearly and simply, uh, crush not the flowers underfoot. And these banners appear right before you enter an area that is just covered with flowers.
Hmm.
Uh, oh, um, well, it's a good thing I can use my feet. And then Louise starts to crawl up Baloo's back and then just flips over and just puts her feet on branches and just starts avoiding all of the flowers by carefully harangutanging literally with the tree branches to keep her feet off of the ground. What did it
Don't go too far. Don't go too far, little one.
no, I won't. I just want to avoid the flowers.
Mm. Yeah, he would smile up in appreciation, but then like he would look down at his own massive like size 14 feet, like.
Can I do that as well, Bhaloo? And he's having his arms like stretched up.
Bhaloo would just kind of just make sure you don't stay too far and stay close to Louise, and I will just pick him up and like
He grabs a tree, his branch.
yeah.
He doesn't know how to move from there.
Are you all right?
I am all right.
Take a token for bending over backwards to try and follow the rules.
Okay, thank you. Try the word there.
Don't. You have to do more than that, Ricardo.
I don't know how to. He stretches his arm a little bit, but it's very short in comparison to Luis.
Well, maybe this won't be working out. Is there anywhere where I can like go without crushing the flowers?
You could. Is there? Like, go
I'm
ahead and
looking.
yeah, you're looking around. You can see that there's like big, thick roots that are kind of sticking out of the ground. That if you're really careful, you could probably jump from root to root to avoid all of these flowers that are grown over on the footpath.
Ricardo, I
Or
do
you
see.
could just walk through.
No. They've done these banners are very pretty. They've taken some time to make.
I am going to use to get a token by inconveniencing myself to help someone else. Ricardo is going to like stop being on the tree branch and fall head first to the middle of the whole set of flowers. Say, you can go over me so you don't get to step on them.
Ricardo, while I appreciate you doing this, I would squish you.
It's okay.
He's just going to
I can
shake his
make
head.
it.
He's just going to shake his head and pry Ricardo off the ground, and just like put him on his shoulder, and then do the most elaborate hopscotch ever to get like to move across, and just like, Louise, where do you think you're going, young one?
So you just like hunker down and whoo,
Yep. Hopscotch,
like on every single hopscotch, going past a axolotl shaped impression in the ground. Technically, you didn't
in the middle of the flowers.
Yeah, of the flowers. Yeah, technically you didn't step on them. You just sort of belly flopped on them. Just flat.
Yeah.
And you're just sort of hopscotching your way. Take another token for going out of your way to both of you actually to go out of your way to follow the rules as you're making your way through. And Louise is like, "Oh, this is so easy," as she's just going from branch to branch.
Cherling, keep a lookout for some water while you're up there. Don't forget what we're here to do.
She looks around. She's like, "Oh, wait! I think I see a little over there." And she points, and she's just pointing to like this is like two trees, and there's a bunch of brush, and there's more flowers, kind of more orchids, purple orchids going up the trunk. You're not quite sure what she's seeing, but then again, she has a higher vantage than you do. Do you start heading in that direction?
Ricardo, we see some water. Stay on my shoulder.
His voice starts to get all cracky by not having any water and being an amphibian. I don't see anything.
It's
there.
as you get closer to the two trees that Louise is hanging above, you realize that the brush in the foliage is concealing. You're able to just kind of push it out of the way. And what does this hidden watering hole look like, Ricardo?
Hidden water. I'll say that the moment Ricardo sees this pool of water, it reminds them immediately of the pond that he used to live in. It's like a beautiful pond with a small little waterfall on the side that falls from a little like sort of current of water that is coming from somewhere else, or maybe from underground. Could be like being placed right over there, and the tree on its side is on some certain way that it's creating like a whole shade over the pond, protecting all the people that are taking a bath in there from the sun rays.
Yeah. So that you see that, and it's just like beautiful. Like you're pretty sure because you're so close to the foothills that water is probably wonderfully cool and cold.
It feels like an oasis.
Yeah, like an oasis within a forest.
Yeah, exactly.
at least to your amphibian friend. Louise is like, I found the water, and there are two individuals that are bathing there, or swimming rather. You see a gray furred, I believe what you call them, a Russian long hair cat, Kith, who is got, like little, like kind of long fishing pants, underwear fishing pants. And you could see like on the edge of the shore on the other side of the swimming hole is like a pile of clothes and a knapsack. And he is kind of waist deep in the water, just sort of splashing water on his fur and then shaking it back out again. He has really friendly blue eyes. And up on a rock next to the large tree where the waterfall is, you see a heron who is also shirtless, wearing some puffy pants, with a beautiful polished mahogany wood lute. And he's just quietly strumming on the lute, just a really sad, uh, lonely ballad, and occasionally, singing out of his beak. He's got like a blue scarf around his, kind of long swan-like neck, and like a hat, like a fancy hat with a long colored plume on it. Like maybe he took one of his feathers and colored it and put it in his hat. And he's just, just sort of playing along with the rhythm of the water trickling from the waterfall. What do you all do?
I think my first instinct would be to, look up to Louise and just call out, high and dry, Cheerling, high and dry. And this is essentially like a code word that we have established, like, stay up in the trees and don't come down until I tell you it's okay.
Okay. She says, okay. And then she gets further up in the trees, and you can see her out of the corner of your eye. She finds a spot to just kind of sit against the trunk, while holding on with her two hands and kicking her legs.
I'll turn to the two and I'll go, hail, travelers, strangers yet to be friends, greetings and salutations.
Oh, hello. The gray furred cat turns around And he's like, a pleasure. Come on in. The water's fine. It's the perfect respite from devil days.
Ricardo's already rushing towards there and jumping and doing a belly flop on the water and going down.
And it's just like the water just like, and it just like, you feel yourself just getting filled with moisture.
Yeah, like a sponge getting all the water.
It's just a cool mountain spring. And he's like, pleasure to meet you folks. I'm Mortimer, and this is my friend. And he points over at the heron. This is my friend Aaron. Aaron kind of briefly stops playing and like snaps out of the reverie that he was in. And he's like, oh, huh. He waxes metaphorical as he says, oh, well, a truly lonely place to find new friends.
It is when one is lonely that a friend is most impactful.
Dun, 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 dun. He plays a little note. Is it all right if I continue playing? I was having a wonderful duet with the brook. And he like points at the waterfall.
Your music is beautiful, friend. Please play.
Oh, thank you. Take a token for speaking your true feelings on a subject.
I will then look up to Louise and like, chilling, it's all right, come down.
Ah! And she just sort of lands on your shoulder, almost like causing you to like buckle over, but you're just strong enough to hold her up. Oh, that was fun.
A little tilts too fast on the coming down part, chilling.
Oh, I jumped this time instead of climbing. I thought it would be faster.
Bhaloo, as usual, it's almost like it was this little thing was made for me. Bhaloo just shakes his head. Then he will turn to Mortimer and Aaron and, well, it is entirely rude of me to not have introduced us, but I am Bhaloo. This is my ward, Louise, and the shape that has T-posed into the water is named Ricardo.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you all. Like I said, we were just trying to cool off because this is so hot.
What's that thing you're playing?
Aaron looks down. He's like, oh, this is my lute.
What do you use the lute for?
I like to play music.
Why?
He looks up into the sky and he's like, I play music because I want to be one with the world, one with the small gods, one with the people. And music is the universal way of communicating and connecting with people. That's why.
I communicate through my voice. And he starts like going towards him. Did you know I have a ghost friend and a god friend? And I have Bhaloo as well, that is my friend. And I do have a cat as well, that is my friend. And I do have many friends, but I haven't never met someone like you.
Oh,
do you want to be my friend as well?
Look, it depends. Would you like to learn how to sing?
And he looks straight at Bhaloo. Can I sing?
You can certainly try, young one.
All right, come sit here. And he taps his little hand on the rock, and there's a little kind of, a bit of moisture on the rock. So there's, a little bit of a slapping sound as he motions for you to sit down next to him.
Tick, 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 and he sits right there on the side.
So I
don't know any songs.
Well, I know lots of songs. Would you like to hear one? All right. There once was a girl in a garden. who wondered one day what she'd be. Her soul and her mind did not harden while watching the death of the leaves. She dug her hand in the dirt-filled ground, grasping for something unseen. And as he holds that note, the room, this room in a forest, essentially, as you're surrounded by trees, starts swarming with beautiful cicadas with iridescent wings, carapaces, and they're all starting to sing along an accompaniment. Knowing that her powers had no bounds, she held on to the nothing in the leaves. And suddenly, the earth gave a strong, loud boom. And you hear a boom in the distance, and the ground shakes a bit. Sorry, I don't know what. And then Mortimer shouts, get out of the way! What do you guys do?
I will dive and immediately cover Louise and just like jump out of the way immediately.
Okay.
And Ricardo was taught that the moment that danger appears, he has to jump to the pond. So,
Okay.
he's jumping to the pond.
And so everyone kind of scatters. Louise, you're covering Louise. You're jumping into the pond. Everyone get a token. An
Okay.
enormous, giant stag beetle just splashes into the pond, away from where you are, and flies up into the air, spraying its massive wings as it kind of opens them up, and you see a creature that you had seen in storybooks, that you had heard stories about, Valashku. You see the golden horns gleaming in the reflected sunlight, the iridescent carapace, and a beautiful singing musical sound coming from its wings and all of the cicadas surrounding it.
Oh my.
And then you hear kind of an echoing voice emanating from it. My apologies. I didn't see you all there. Heron is like, it's fine. I saw you. I was attracted to your song. And with that, we're going to take our first break. We'll be right back in 10 minutes. We'll be back at 30 after the hour. And we will be speaking with Valashku. Hello. We are back once again with our journey. So you're there with Mortimer the Greyford cat. You're and Aaron the Heron. I did not do that on purpose, but it's a cool name. Uh, and you are before Valashku. Pronouns he, him. um,
Before I ask.
yeah. Uh, And just to kind of refresh, they are a giant stag beetle with golden horns and an iridescent carapace. He is the last of his kind, legendary beast of the era of dragons, who has the power to grant wishes to the pure of heart and grow forests by singing a song from the dawn of existence. He is venerable, miraculous, and mighty. I want to ask each of you a question in this moment. Ricardo,
Mhm.
when you were young, who
Younger.
told you, who younger, when you were a child, a little
Yeah.
tadpole, who told you the story of Valashku?
I am going to tie to my grandmother again. I'll say
Mhm.
that my abu is the one that told me all the stories from the world. She was a traveler
Okay.
at heart.
Yeah, seeing this being, you can just feel your Abu there in that moment with you, telling you the stories of the thousand wishes that Valashku granted, and how these wishes, her stories were a little different. She, the Valashku that she told you about, it taught the lesson that he granted wishes to the pure of heart. But the wicked could ask as well, and when their wishes were fulfilled, well, they would always get their comeuppance in your Abu's stories.
So a bit like Shini's in our world history,
Hmm.
or okay.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and to you, Bhaloo, where did you
Hmm.
first hear the stories of Valashku?
Hmm. I remember when it was during the bad times in the war, there were attempts by the kid to lift the mood, and some sang songs. There was a song of Valashku and talking about his wishes and the trees. That I think the song would have been his first introduction to Valashku.
And there it is, towering above you.
I
Would you?
think Balu. I think Balu would just first he would uh, kind of easing up a little bit, like to the point where Louise would kind of emerge from his cloak, and he would just bow and great one. It is. I did. I did not think you were real. And he just bows.
I am real. I'm right before you.
It is not often that one meets a figure of legend. Uh, he is just kind of still awestruck a little bit.
Uh, Mortimer like raises his paw and is like, "Excuse me, Great Valashku." Yes. May may I get my clothes? and it like raises a wing, and Mortimer just scrambles out of the pond to like get his clothes and his satchel. And while that's happening, Velashku's attention returns to the three of you. And by three, well, four of you, because actually, no, three of you, because Ricardo, you both can see that Aaron has like flown up to one of the tree branches. And is just kind of up there listening quietly, clutching his lute in his arms.
Okay.
Wow, Louise says, your horns are made of solid sunlight. Did you know that? How did you know that? Oh, well, I mean, it wouldn't make sense for them to actually be gold because gold is metal and metal doesn't grow out of people, it grows out of mountains.
Ricardo will pull his arm up, like as if to ask a question.
You have a question?
I do. I've never seen a beetle as big as you are, and I wanted to know how old are you?
No one has asked me my age in a very long time. Let me think.
Yes, Ricardo. It is often because that is a very rude question to ask.
But
Hmm?
my abu told me that great beetles come from like when the dragons were in here as well. So I wanted to know how old possibly he was. And
I hatched 2 seasons after the first dragon set foot in these lands.
so we know everyone in all of life.
Oh, no. I do not know everyone.
But now
Some
I
of
know you.
oh,
Bhaloo would have completely, been relaxed at that response of like, how do you know that he has golden horns? And yeah, he would have kind of stepped back, and he is, I think, looking up at Aaron, and then, uh, hmm, it is always a good time for tea, but especially when new meetings come, it is even better. And he will start taking out his pots and pans and the cabinet, and he will go to the thing very slowly, ambling as he does, and take a pot of water and start setting up a small little fire.
so there is a little soft montage as music is playing. Mortimer and Aaron makes his way down from the tree. Mortimer, shuffles around the other side of the forest, and eventually Velashku ends up taking a seat on the massive rock where Aaron was playing, almost like a throne, and towers over all of you as you're right on the shore of the swimming hole making tea.
Can I climb onto your stag?
Hmm.
I became a great climber just recently. Isn't that right, Bhaloo?
That is certainly an opinion. Mm,
It is my opinion.
mm. Usually, it is only one's own opinion that matters, but
It
in
is.
matters, but in matters of climbing trees,
I want to climb too.
perhaps.
Can I climb too? I think that would be great.
Uh,
Velashku says, "You may climb upon my carapace and remain until such time as tea is ready." Louise is like, "Okay, let's go." And Louise takes Ricardo's hand and pulls you along
Yeah.
to like climb up this like iridescent carapace. And there's a couple times where like you reach up and then it slides down, and then you reach up and you slide down. And eventually, after about 3 times, you're about to get enough grip to get up to its shoulders near where its horns are and its eyes and its um, mandibles.
I don't know how they are called.
Yeah,
mandibles.
mandibles.
Yeah.
But you are
I,
up high, really high. Like you can see the top of the canopy from its shoulder, and you see Bhaloo is and Mortimer and Aaron are itty bitty. It's almost like have you ever been at the top of a diving board?
Mhm.
I have
Like a
not because
really
I'm totally
high
scared
diving
of
board
heights. But I get it.
of heights. Well, but yeah, it's like being being like on the edge of a cliff face with like
Yeah,
the
I've been
ocean
there.
below you. Like that is pretty how high up you are.
Okay.
I will, as the tea is being made, I will turn to Velashku and I apologize, Great One, for the young one's audacity. I have tried my best, but they seem to go as their will pulls them.
Hmm.
I would like to spend a token if possible while this
Yeah,
is going on. And
always.
possibly, if Falasco is about to speak, Ricardo will just interrupt him all of a sudden by by using the action of revealing something hidden about the person in front of you and ask them what it is. Ricardo will see a small crack on the top of his carapace and say, "What is this crack here on your carapace?"
Oh.
Badu face palms.
Uh above table.
Like in a section
What
that
is it?
possibly Velasco can't see,
Hmm.
like
Velashku's like,
right here,
right.
possibly.
Oh. Oh, I don't know. It's probably just something that needs healing.
Did someone hurt you?
Hmm. A long time ago. And I'm going to show what things were like in more grim times. And the carapace starts to illuminate and reflecting almost like a projector
Nice.
in the leaves and in the condensation of the forest. You see an illusion of as the carapace starts to glow and reflect, and you see a group, a silhouette of various different individuals um, making their way into the forest with all a matter of instruments of war and weapons uh, and you see a silhouette of Velashku and a clash and you hear music again, but the music is like very like foreboding and ominous uh as you know the cicadas start screeching and You see this cannon, this outline of a cannon fire off an arc of smoke, and it hit the cannonball cracks on Valashku's back, and he swings around, and then it disappears and mist. I knew that the armies, the soldiers of the one known as the King of the Floating Mountain, attempted to force to grant a wish. I would
That
not.
must have been so terrible.
Terrible for them.
Weren't you in the war, Bhaloo?
Bhaloo just kind of freezes as he is adding, like, some herbs to the tea, and he will drop it into the tea, and he will look towards Ricardo high up there, and his eyes would go flit from Ricardo to Louise, and it's a very complicated emotion on his face, layered, a lot of regret, but at first, but then there is dawning joy when the gaze shifts to Louise. But he would slowly nod and, yes, I was. These are not things that should be brought up in such beauty.
Why not?
Because conflict,
People-
Ricardo, taints anything that it encounters, especially conflict of egos.
People were saying that people at war were heroes.
Valashku is going to take on a heavy burden on behalf of Bhaloo. And Valashku is going to say, heroes are dangerous. Heroes believe in what is right and what is wrong without understanding the full song of the story that is our lives. A hero is not something to be praised. A hero is something that is at times necessary, but in times of peace is a danger. War is easy. Peace is hard. And there is no place for heroes in times of peace.
Oh. So that means you're not a hero.
Not all legends have to be heroes, Ricardo. Legends can be large enough that they do not have to have such notions about themselves.
Louise is like,
Legends.
I'm so
Sorry.
confused. No, she actually interrupts. She's like, I'm so confused. But like, heroes are always the ones that help people in the stories. Mortimer kind of speaks up, putting a paw on your shoulder, Bhaloo. Uh, stories are complicated. history's complicated. I think what Velashku is trying to say is that heroes now are dangerous, but in times when they're needed, they're needed.
Mm,
I'm going to spring forward again and use one of the moves from the location.
Mhm.
And this one in particular, I want to ask Aadi with Bhaloo, what do you need most right now?
mm. Uh, Especially given the recent frustration, I think Balu is going to look up and just sigh deeply. And I wish Chuki were here.
And I had to give you a token if you can find them here. So there you
Yeah,
got token.
you got a token.
Mm.
Velashku says, "Is it almost time for tea?"
Indeed, great one. I have just finished. And it's there is a kettle that has been made, but there is also the largest pot that he has for Velashku.
So
And
Maybe like a
yeah,
pot.
yeah,
yeah,
it's a massive pot, right? It's
nice.
it's it's his like yeah, it's his camp pot, like the large, like for 20
Yeah,
people kind of stew.
Like a wok.
Yeah, yep.
yeah, oh yeah. Velashku reaches up and picks up both in his very large arms, uh, Ricardo and Louise, and just sort of plucks them up and sets
Mm.
them down right next to the fire, very gently and carefully. It's kind of, whoa, it's a little bit of a vertigo because you're coming from so high up. And
Yeah.
he just gently sets you down and then goes over and just takes the cup and reaches up and leans back and just start and waits for everyone else to start drinking.
Yeah. I mean, we. So I am spending a token. Uh,
Hmm.
this is the magic tea,
Hmm.
Oh.
and I would sip, and then I would like just sit back, lean in, and soak in the warmth of the herbs and the tea. Uh, and I would. He would actually. Great one. I remember that Ricardo noticed that you had an injury. I do not know what my small magic might aid in a person such as yourself, but if you would permit my ward, Louise, please take some of this tea. And there's another little pot that he's made. Please take
Hmm.
it up and pour it over the wound that Ricardo saw. If
Mm,
the Great One permits, it might heal him.
I will allow it. And Louise is like, okay. Uh, Important note, while Louise is doing this, Mortimer is now fully dressed. He's got
Mhm.
a tweed coat and a button-up shirt underneath, linen a button-up shirt. He's got like a leather satchel, and he has like a chapbook, and he is writing furiously, like all of these details. Um, he's got a sketch of Velashku that he's drawing, but he's also taking notes of everything that's being said. Uh, and Aaron is also like has also has a little notebook, and he's like writing as well while listening to the conversation, just sort of absorbing the moment. And Louise climbs up the side of Volashku with the pot very carefully and pours it into the crack.
Ah.
And Volashku just kind of shakes there for a moment. Aadi, what happens?
If the tea is cooled, this one was cooled, so
Mhm.
and it is poured over a rash, injury, or scar, the malady will heal and fade.
Oh, okay. Volashku shakes for a moment, and there's a pregnant silence where all you can hear is the rustling of the leaves and the distant singing of the cicadas, and the smell of the orchids gets much stronger. And then you hear Louise whistling a chipper tune. And then when Louise finishes, like a single, rotation of the tune, she's like, "Crack all healed," and starts climbing down. Oh, I didn't realize that was causing that throbbing numbness was an injury. I feel much better.
Baloo will just bow with a somewhat pleased smile on his face.
Hmm.
Who's an expert at this?
I am good with my tea.
Huh.
He healed my knee numerous times when I fell.
Mm, good Alan.
Wow, that is so incredible, Mortimer says. I haven't seen healing magic like that before.
Mm,
At
I,
least not outside the Silent Sanctuary.
mm,
You're from the Seventh
I,
Sanctuary?
I
No,
have.
no, I visited there earlier in the year. Um, I took a
What
pilgrimage.
what would us Kith know about the sanctuary? Is it a famous place?
Yeah, it's the necropolis uh, that
From the
charity
last
is
session.
from that charity's from, where the silent sages are. It's
Mhm.
one part graveyard, uh, shrine, festival grounds.
And we are not sure of how we got the magic, right? That's what we are trying to find out.
No, no, I haven't asked you all where you got your magic from.
Hmm.
And in this moment, Velashku looks at you and asks, "Where, where did you learn that secret?"
Who, me?
Hmm.
Climbing?
No, it's obvious that you learned climbing from little Louise.
I learned it from.
Louise like raises her long arm and
Yeah.
waves. "I was asking Bhaloo.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
a very old and ancient secret."
Well, great one. I She kind of dart a look towards Louise, and my cheerling was deep in the fever one night. It was when she was very young and just a babe wrapped in her shawl. I was alone. I hadn't met my friends.
Velashku's leaning deeper. getting
It was,
closer.
it was a deep glade in a forest. I don't remember which one. As her coughing grew stronger and her body grew hotter, I cried. I tried as much as I could, but nothing happened, and my my ward was fading away. Then the most curious thing happened. The leaves started rustling, and an old god came to me. I know I don't know how it looked. It was as if the glade itself spoke to me, and the roots around the tree that I was leaning against with Louise wrapped around me, and I felt my soul being touched.
Hmm. I can see reflected in your eyes. You have been touched by, I believe. And he kind of sinks even closer. Now the horns are like the fire that you have are starting to reflect and kind of illuminate the area as its wide eyes are looking at you.
He
You have
doesn't
been
look away.
touched.
He
You've
doesn't
been
look away. In fact, he's just looking right at
you
Velasco.
have been touched by the dark.
I know not, Great One. All I know is that what was shared and what was given to me allowed me to make tea that healed Louise. It brought her back. I don't know about dark, but it allowed me to have my light go on. And he would give a very soft smile towards Louise.
There are gods of all sizes, mostly small, many forgotten. But what you spoke to was something ancient, primal, something as venerable as I. Hmm.
Are you a legend as well, Bhaloo?
Only a legend in the mess hall camp, but that's about it.
Huh.
Uh, yeah, he is just like embarrassed mostly by that question, and he just like just starts. He would look up, and tea is one thing, but to prove my heroic status, as Ricardo pointed out,
But you're
is
not a
anyone
hero. Heroes are bad.
a legend is one thing, and heroes are the. I will turn to everybody. I would turn to Aaron and Mortimer, and then to Velasco. Have you all eaten? I think it has been a long day, and it is perhaps time for some food in our bellies.
I, Valashku rears up. I must continue patrolling the forest. My family, the forest spirits, the small gods, I must look after them, even though all of you are kind. Sometimes as I have shared. Those who are not kind have endangered this place. But I will not forget this kindness that you have shown me, Bhaloo. Ricardo, Louise, Mortimer, Aaron. I shall return when the dawn rises above the canopy.
Your time is your own, Great One, and your duty is far more important than dinner.
Do we have to ask you for a wish?
Actually, he. Thank you.
I don't intend to.
Ricardo.
I have everything
will
I
be
want
back.
right here, but just
I will
asking.
I will be back at moonrise instead. And yes, you should ask for a wish.
Me?
And he his gaze sweeps upon all of you. If you wish one, it would give me great joy. And then the ground shakes as he takes off into the sky.
I imagine a stag beetle that size. It's
Mhm.
like,
Helicopter.
a Black Hawk fucking,
Yeah, it's just like the wind. Everybody's fur gets except for, of course, Ricardo, because Ricardo doesn't have fur, but everyone else does, and everyone's fur is blasted back as it flies away. And it is, I want to say at this point, it is late afternoon. And after Velashku takes its leave, Mortimer is like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's why Aaron and I are here. Yes, I wanted to write a song about Velashku because I'd heard about his legendary singing and the singing that he does with the cicadas and the crickets here. And Mortimer's like, yes, I am a university student, and originally I took a pilgrimage to the Silent Sanctuary to say goodbye to my uncle, and I met some pretty incredible people at the Silent Sanctuary, so I was inspired by them, so I've just been traveling around, collecting stories, and I had always heard about Velashku since I was a little kitten, so I thought that I would make my way here to the Viridian marches, and then I met Aaron along the way, and we've just kind of sort of been traveling, and then we ran into you, and then that happened.
That sounds like a beautiful thing to do. To travel, to write a story, to forge a song. Languages that speak past any words. Beautiful.
Aaron kind of blushes a little bit. There's a little bit of red from underneath his feathers that kind of is very apparent because he's got white feathers. He's a water heron, and it's like, oh, you flatter me. I'm just a lonely lute player, as they say. Mortimer's like, he keeps saying that, even though we have been traveling for a month now.
Time together is not the mark of a journey. It is the thought and experience that is built, the bonds that are forged. That is not a marker of time.
Oh. And he like writes that down in his little notebook. May I quote you on that?
Starts spluttering and blush himself and start making, like, he'll start setting up the things. And I think to kind of break this thing, he would break that line of questioning immediately. He just starts singing, actually, like as he starts setting up, and he'll just be ho 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 ho. When the cooking fire glows strong and the ingredients are waiting to swim, the pots and pans start to sing. Make the food, boil the meat, cut the greens, stay on your feet. The kids are hungry for their feast. Oh, ho, 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 and continues on and on.
And Aaron starts just accompanying you because he knows this particular song, and just just starts playing along, like happy to make music. Louise pulls out her crayon, her paints, and her crafting supplies and starts drawing. And her and Mortimer start chit chatting back and forth and kind of bonding. And while you're cooking the food, and you're all having a nice quiet moment as you are cooking a late lunch, early dinner, getting all of that out of the way and such. um all right, take it you're going to stay at the edge of the watering hole and not travel deeper in.
I mean, Volashku said
Yeah,
he'd
that
be back
please.
at Moonrise, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. um I will say at that time, as you're cooking, Ricardo, you're going to notice like a little, like a leshy, like a little leaf person,
Mhm.
kind of peeks behind a branch and is looking at you and then retreats.
I've seen one of you, and he starts like running towards it.
And it peeks out and it waves.
Are you familiar with Seti? And he starts moving the grass.
It shakes his head.
I lost Seti again. I can't find her. And I wanted to know if maybe if you want to accompany me as well. I am collecting friends.
uh it does like this, like a little shrugging motion. uh
And
and
Ricardo will just sit on the ground next to this leshy person and say, "What's your name?"
it tilts its head and it looks like it's thinking. uh and it kind of waves its little leaf hands, and you hear a whispering breeze goes by, and it sounds like the whispering breeze is saying, they do not have names like Kiss have names, but the closest thing to a name that the leaf folk would have would be 10,000 acorns falling into the pond.
Wow, that's a long name. My name is Ricardo of the Pond. And not this pond, actually. I came from another pond that is like very far ahead over there, and it's like next to a whole beautiful area filled with plants and bushes, and my family used to live there, and we are going on a journey here because I want to set up a new family for me, and I believe that you are funny and I like you.
It's like clapping joyfully at the idea. Like it's just clapping, and then eventually you hear like another breeze goes by, another whisper, and you hear, "It likes that you're both named Bond, or at least that you both have names that are part of the bond." And then the
Are we family? He starts looking over there.
and it and almost in response to "Are we family?" it goes up your arm and sits on your shoulder.
That's cute. I made a new friend. Bhaloo, I made a new friend.
Wait, where did you pop out from, little one?
And it
Like
just
the
points
large-
over. It points over to like a branch that was near a tree that nearby the camp.
What are your pronouns?
What is the what does the leaf person
like-
look like?
It looks like a blade of grass with a woven like its body is a wave of grass. Its arms are two blades of grass. It has like a skirt in the middle of the blade that looks like that's all leaves woven together. It has two legs that appear to be stems, and then like the bottom of the feet on the legs are like are curved leaves. And then it has like a vaguely humanoid face. It looks a little bit like Louise's, right? But in actuality, it's like humanoid, but it's all green, and then it has leaves like for hair,
Okay.
and deep, deep, like dark tree sap eyes.
Well, you've clearly
But there's no
made,
mouth. There's no mouth, though, I will say.
well, you've clearly
Makes
made
sense.
a new friend, Ricardo.
Yeah, I think we're family.
Found families sometimes.
No actual family. We shared our surname.
Well,
Huh.
that makes sense.
Oh, wow. Your new friend is really talkative, Louise says.
He just nods because he's seen over the years what Louise does. He knows what she does. What does the little one have to say, cheerling?
Oh, it just says that it's never met anyone other than its own kind that has pond in its name. And he likes that, so he's probably gonna. What was that you say? And it's like gesticulating, and it's just like, oh, it's wondering why I can hear it. Oh, it's just something I can do. Oh no, Ricardo can't hear you because you don't have a mouth. Oh, it's fine. I can translate for you. He likes you, Ricardo.
Yeah, I like you as well, even though I can't hear you.
He says that you can call him Acorn or Pond, whichever's easier for you since you have a mouth.
I like acorn.
Acorn it is.
It's a corny name. That was Tomas happening over there.
Yeah,
I'm conflicted because I like that humor, but Bhaloo probably does not have the patience for it. He just face palms.
Go ahead and take a as you're cooking dinner for the group. Go ahead and take a token to for going out of your way to do something nice for everyone else without expecting anything in return. So, is there anything else, Ricardo, or any other mischief you and Louise want to get into while Bhaloo is cooking for the rest of the afternoon?
Bhaloo is cooking. Let me think. Maybe what we can do is. Are there more of you, Acorn? Can you show me? I want to see your whole family to see if they are my family as well.
They start waving, and you hear on another whispering breeze, "Follow us." And then the
I'm going to
breeze
die.
the breeze picks up Acorn, and Acorn starts flying through the air deeper into the forest, away from the water hole.
Luis, come over here, and he will run towards the forest.
Louise is like, I'll be back, and scampers off into the woods with Ricardo.
Oh dear.
Mortimer's like, do you want me to go with them?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm on it. Aaron, you stay here and help with the cooking, but I don't cook. As Mortimer like leaves, how about I keep? He like puts his loot away and he's like, "Show me how I can help." And
Oh, you don't have to do too much. Just help me cut the onions. That's all I need.
Okay. So we're gonna cut away to Mortimer, Louise, and Ricardo going deeper into the forest. Same issue as before. There are these purple orchids everywhere. And Louise this time is Mortimer is like, wait a minute, I got this. And Mortimer picks you up. Yeah, picks Ricardo up, kind of like almost like a bride style, and is like, all right, watch this. And Mortimer, like a cat, leaps from root to root to root to root, helping you like follow this flying leaf sprite that's on the wind of another small god that has not named itself, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. While over the flowers with her long arms and legs. Ricardo, what do you need most right now?
At this moment, I believe that what Ricardo needs the most right now is home. Not necessarily what he left, but home.
Okay. I'm going to have to give you a token.
Quite abstract.
Home is not here.
Okay. I would grab that token.
Eventually, you come into a clearing that isn't exactly a clearing. It's actually more of like a little glen with like one massive tree in the middle of it. It is. I'm going to describe something massive, sublime, and uncaring. It is a large, ancient tree with all of these little pockets and holes in it, vibrant green leaves, the last bits of sunlight coming through, and you see a bunch of these little leshy leaf sprite people just inhabiting this giant, massive tree uh, with more of these whispering breezes, just whispering different things. What kind of things do you hear, Ricardo, from the whispering breezes flitting in and out of this village of leaf sprites?
I would say that what I hear from these small folk are something like um, possibly a new visitor, a new addition to our crew, something like that.
Okay, okay. And you know you hear that being whispered. You see some of the leaf people turn around and wave at you. Some of them turn and wave at Acorn, and you hear once again that music as you see this time from crickets that are leaping, you know, from this ring of wild grass and flowers into the root system of this massive ancient tree. And are there any moves that you would like to take while you're in this place,
Moves.
surrounded by small gods and majesty?
Hmm.
I know there's one particular move you might want to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the listening to the small gods.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to find one of those. Yeah, I like to do exactly that and see what they may want out of me or Acorn.
You
If you have
close
anything in
your
mind.
eyes for a moment and open your ears. And Louise takes your hand and squeezes it. And in this moment, Louise shares her gift with you so that you might be able to hear and understand what they are saying.
Okay. You can share it. All right.
Ricardo,
Mm-hmm.
your magic that you have,
Mm-hmm.
which one did you choose?
I chose
Remind me.
star one.
Star one?
Yes. Which for context I can say what it does if you want to. I was planning on doing something with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, you hear from the small gods. You've been touched by flame, the flame that gives warmth, the flame that gives light, the flame that gives light. You, you're touched
I
by
have
the.
touched fire. It hurts.
Hmm, no, you're touched by the stars, by the light in the
Oh.
sky, by the
Eh,
faces of the lightning dancers. You, you should listen to that voice.
which
It will
voice?
guide you. This voice within. And
Mm.
it's at that point that you feel yourself falling into your own memories. You describe to us where you learned the magic of star from the venerable and forgotten god of flame.
Okay. I'll say that this happened some years back at one of the ceremonies that it held within the axolotls at the pond. there is this celebration in which when people pass over to other lives, there are some candles that are left to remember those who have been before us and invite them to come over for a small banquet with them and to just spend some time in harmony together. The candle is used as some sort of passageway for them to our world. And upon hearing these stories many times from their Abu, Ricardo has just run towards the fields in this particular day to just lay on their back and look at the stars, to try to see and comprehend them. But he could find nothing. Just stars among stars among stars. There was possibly some shooting star appearing in the horizon as well. And it is at that moment when trying to comprehend and find what lay beyond these lights in the sky that upon the darkness he noticed that upon placing his hand on the grass near his location, a small candle started to form near his fingers. This candle immediately lit, creating some sense of harmony and calmness around. And it is just then that he started to notice some pattern in the sky, some constellations that started to appear as another candle started to appear on the other side of his other hand. And more constellations became apparent. And it was at that moment that Ricardo started to notice these lives from beyond, these lives from the past that are looking straight at us, beyond us in the field upon this we call life. From that moment on, Ricardo has noticed that there is something that connects him with the stars. He doesn't fully understand it, but he knows how to summon these candles that create this calmness, this warmth around them.
And in that moment, you come back to the present and notice that the clearing is now filled with singing cicadas that are all in the final pieces of daylight in the afternoon as things approach dusk, are reflecting the motes of sunlight and forming the same patterns as the stars and constellations. And the small gods of this place tell you to listen to the song of the stars, the song at the heart of all things. And then Louise releases your hand, and all that is left in the clearing is a bunch of happy spirits and music as the cicadas make their way back deeper into the forest. What did you hear?
I think the stars are talking to me. Do you want to lay over here and stay a while looking at them? Maybe we can learn something from them.
I think Bhaloo will worry if we're gone too long, but she goes into her pocket and pulls out a beautiful shiny stone. We should leave offerings for them.
Oh, we should, that's right.
And
Is Acorn with us, by the way?
Yeah, Acorn's staying on your shoulders.
Good.
So she goes over to like a little nook in the roots, very carefully maneuvering her way around the wild grass and the flowers, and she just leaves it in this little like wooden moss, like, so there's like a nook between two roots, but there's also a stone there, that's covered in a little bit of moss, and you can see some sticks and some rocks and some acorns have already been left there, and she just leaves the shiny stone right there. Mortimer goes in and pulls out a pencil, like a short like pencil with the graphite on it, and he's like, and he just very carefully leaves it there by the little shrine. How about you?
And he starts looking at his belongings, and I am going to say, I don't have much with me, but. And he starts to look on his bag, among the many things that he has, a collection of nonsensical stuff, and he will pick out the portrait that we received on our last episode from the haunted house, with a portrait of everyone from the party. I think I already have this. I don't need it on a portrait. And he will leave it upon the nook and say, maybe they can find family as well.
I hope so. And Louise takes your hand and just leans her head on your shoulder because you're short enough. And Mortimer's like, "Oh, it's such a nice portrait. I hope they all like it."
Yeah.
And you all kind of sit there in the sweetness. And even though Louise said you should head back, you do spend some time. You spend some time looking at the patterns of the cicadas, glowing in the little bits left of the sunlight, trying to figure out the pattern of the stars.
That moment, Ricardo will go ahead and create another candle within the grass, very tall, with its flame lighting the whole space. And the moment that happens, a great sense of warmth and just goodness start to spread all across this section, which allows us to fall on our backs and look at the stars, glancing among them. Can you see constellations there in the sky, Mortimer?
Yes, I can, but it's not even sundown yet. How did you do that?
I don't know. I think I have better eyes than you.
I'm a cat. I have great eyes.
Oh, that's right. Then maybe I am special, but you are special as well in your own way. I love your music. Have you written something about the stars?
You mean Aaron. Aaron's the one that does the music.
Oh, that's right. But didn't you sing as well?
I sing a little bit, but I write poems.
That is beautiful. You should keep doing that. You're good at it.
I plan on it. It's one of the things that Aaron and I have in common. The line between poetry and music is very, very blurry. I'm hoping one day he'll take one of my poems and write a song with it.
I'm sure they will too. And Ricardo will put his hand over Mortimer's lap. And the way the candle works, just so we are all and we all know about it, is that while the candle is lit, we can't fall asleep. But the moment that the candle is blown, we all fall asleep.
So do you take the candle with you, like back to the camp?
I was thinking that we were just spending some time there looking at the stars.
Oh, right.
Ricardo doesn't understand it that well.
Right. Meanwhile, while this is happening, back at the camp, Aaron turns to you, Bhaloo, And it's like, yeah, put me to work. Show me what to do. What's next?
I think by this time, like all of the cooking would have been made,
Mm.
and Aaron at this point is only just trying to calm Bhaloo down, as Bhaloo
Oh,
is just like, he's like, where is she? Where is she? Where is he? Bularam.
they're just probably enjoying the forest.
Mm. Hmm. I know those two. They're most likely going to get into some trouble. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Aaron, please, it has been far too long. Please, where is my ward? Can you help me find her? I'm
Of
using
course.
I'm using a move there actually,
Oh, yeah, which one?
which is asking, like, where is my ward? And
Uh, absolutely.
the yeah.
I will I will help you. I will most assuredly help you. Uh,
So Aaron gets a token from me.
oh, okay. Uh, so Aaron says, just wait here. And Aaron reaches out his arms, and as he does that, his wings unfurl, and then he launches himself into the air um, and flies up over the canopy. And in a few moments, he comes back. They're at a clearing not too far from here, probably a few minutes walk. I can fly pretty fast, and they appear to be taking a nap.
All right, foolish boy. It's like, you always eat first before you take a nap.
And I think that's oh, you say that to Aaron. He's like, do you want to go get them and wake them up? Do you want to wait?
But just point me in the direction. Stay here. Keep a watch over the food. I will
All
get
right.
them.
Okay. And he points his wing arm in the forest.
Yeah. And then
Just keep going
grumbling,
due that way.
grumbling, amble on towards the location, hoping to find Louise
Forest.
and Ricardo.
Uh, you're making your way through the forest and
Keeping, and again, taking special care not to step on any flower.
taking very special care. Go ahead and get a token for bending over backwards to respect this place's rules as you're once again jumping from root to root, making your way around because the flowers are everywhere. Um,
They made it so hard.
yeah. Uh, and you arrive at the edge of this clearing where all of these little like leaf people are. And what do you hear from the whispers on the breeze?
Uh, I think Baloo would hear. Uh, the little one speaks our language. She can listen to us. She can speak. She can speak to us.
And that gets kind of what you hear, like in the whispers in the breeze. And you see the three of them around a shrine with a candle in front of them that's gone out, and they're all peacefully sleeping, all snuggled together.
First of all, there'd be a sigh of relief as soon as he clocks Louise, and then it's just "Ooh, Ricardo," and like, yeah, he would looking at how cute they all look snuggled up like that. I don't think he'd wake them up. Bhaloo would just shake his head, because that's also another one of his moves,
Mhm.
and sigh, and essentially, yeah, he'd have Louise tucked up in in one of his arms, just curled up there, and he'd basically put the other two in a fireman carry and start ambling back towards the camp.
Eventually, through trial and error, you manage to get back to the camp. And right when you get to the camp is when they all start to wake up. Not the jostling, not the jumping, not the avoiding the flowers, but the smell of food. Immediately, Mortimer and Louise start rousing, and Ricardo, oh, the smell of fresh cooked food. It's dinner time. And you wake up.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you
are we
just
there
see,
yet?
you just.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Were we asleep?
Ricardo says a
What?
lot of things, does a lot
Uh,
of things, and sometimes, but he is special in his own way, and sometimes.
Stargazing makes me sleepy.
I don't know. The last thing I remember was we were stargazing somehow during the day through this magic candle, and then the last thing I remember was a breeze going by and the candle going out, and then waking up here.
Well, yes, you had fallen asleep, and I did not want to wake you. You seemed like you needed it.
Oh my gosh, that food smells great. And I helped, Aaron says.
He did. Aaron was very helpful. I I do not know why he says he cannot cook. These onions have been diced and julienned perfectly.
Thank you. Must be all the manual dexterity from playing the lute. Mordor
I
kind of
as he looks away and
blushes.
he does that, I will if he looks away, I will catch Louise's eyes and wink in a way that's like he's not a good thing. Like he probably cut them up all really badly, and I was like, it's good job,
You
good
fixed
job.
it.
Yeah, I fixed it. Like
Uh, mm. uh, and so everyone gathers together for an evening meal
Mhm.
by this hidden swimming hole, all cooked and delicious. And with that, as you settle in for your meal for the night, we will take our second break. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Please hang on with us as we go into the final moments of our journey in the Viridian Marches. And we are back. So we're sitting there. You're with Mortimer. You're with Aaron. You're with Louise. Mortimer has some delicious peach, some candied peaches uh, that he is sharing with the group uh, that he got from Peach Blossom Vale in a little bag. And uh, Heron, our Heron friend Aaron the Heron, is playing a little bit of music to kind of accompany dinner. Occasionally taking a break to take a bite of his food every now and then, but for the most part, in between bites, he's providing ambiance. The sun starts heading down, um, and the music of the night starts to fill the air. the light of the stars, the light of the beautiful, massive fireflies that inhabit the Viridian marches um, starts to illuminate the forest and reflect from the pond. The fire is warm, and it's not a cold night, actually. It's a warm night, a little bit balmy, but because the sun is no longer out, you no longer feel like you're burning or drying up. um, what is this meal like, uh, my friends? What do we have before us? What spread has Bhaloo cooked up for everyone?
Hmm. There's definitely some potato stew that is seasoned mildly.
Mhm.
Uh, there would be a few. I think it would be bumblebee steaks
Mhm.
as
Oh.
well, and
Yeah. Are
some.
they sweet because of the honey? Do you cook them with honey?
I Of course,
Okay.
honey glazed,
Oh,
honey
bittersweet. I love
glazed,
it.
honey
Yes.
glazed. And but like to make up a little texture, there'll be crushed cockroaches in with a little bit of pepper and just
Mm.
salt. So it's just like to have that crunch with the like to add to
Oh, I love
texture.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I want some of
Oh.
that.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. I think maybe you might also have some fish as well because Aaron might have caught a couple of fish from the pond for you as well. So I think you might have a couple, like a nice fillet as an additional protein that you're all enjoying. Um, there's plenty of fruits that you can forage from in the forest. If you wanted to have like a fruit juice or like a fruit salad on the
Apple
side.
juice.
Oh yes, pressed apple juice. And the food smells great. The music is wonderful, and you're all eating, having just uh, a wonderful, wonderful meal. The night continues on, and there's a moment where you think perhaps a storm is rolling through, but it is not. It is your friend eclipsing the moon, Valashku, as he once again arrives, lands on the stone, his golden horns illuminated and reflecting light into the pool from the fire that you have, which is now much bigger now that dinner has been shared and eaten.
Do they still shine like the sun, even during
Yes.
night?
Yep.
Okay.
But only because it's reflecting the firelight, which
All
is a
right.
yellow light.
Now I was
Uh,
thinking that maybe during night it could do like moonlight or something like that, change
Yeah,
color.
it would, but it's interesting because you're right. So it is like moonlight, right? Like the horns are silvery because he's like reflecting the moonlight, but then when he
Mhm.
sits, they once again
Oh.
are golden again as the light from the fire like bounces off the lake onto his horns and it refracts back. Um, and it's a majestic sight. And of course, that light is bouncing off his carapace, and then it's just like the whole clearing is illuminated almost as if it was daylight from all of the reflecting light.
I cannot. I cannot help it. I right now in my head, Velasco has just turned into a disco ball.
Yep. Big old disco ball. Uh Vlashku, looks at all of you.
Would bow.
Do any of you have a question you would like to ask of me?
Where did you go?
I went deeper into the forest to speak with my family, the small gods. I visited the shrine, the heart of the forest, to see to it the offerings were not vandalized and were cared for.
Hmm.
And that is where I went.
I have a question.
Yes,
Why do you need offerings?
I do not, but the small gods do.
Why?
It shows respect. It shows that you believe that the connection between the spirit and between the material is unbroken. Before the splitting of the worlds, we were all once one. And to remain one, the material gives offerings which the immaterial accepts. And in return, the waking dream of our two worlds continues. If that harmony is disrupted, as such happened during the last war, gods become small and forgotten. And there's a deep and abiding sadness in his eyes when he says this.
Hmm. In your patrol, Great One, I pray that you did not encounter Kith, who were disrespectful, and your heroes were forgotten.
Such kith are rare in these days, and any disrespect, I find, is done through a lack of understanding rather than any malicious intent.
Hmm. But is it fair that ignorance is a veil that exists as it is? Can it not be lifted, Great One?
That is not my duty,
Hmm.
and the last beings that took up that duty are all long dead. Dragons no longer fly the skies and no longer share their wisdom. They are all gone, and I mourn them every day that I draw breath.
I would look towards Louise and kind of ruffle her hair, the fur on top, and well, mourning is natural when people and ideas are lost. But they are only truly forgotten if no tales of them are still told.
Mm.
Tell us, Great One, to lift, to lighten the heart and ease the spirit. Tell us of the kindest dragon that you knew in that great time.
Mm. I remember Sol, the dragon of the sun. They spread their light throughout the world, giving it warmth, giving it life. When they were slain, they burst into a giant star that continues to provide life and warmth throughout the lands of Haeth and beyond. This is a clever lie that Sol would have the world believe. In truth, Sol was the son of the sun. And it was.
Do you mean the sun as in the shining orb, or the sun being the one that came from the other one? They are confusing words.
The one that came from the other one.
Okay,
It's the
the
reason why
son
his
of
name
the
was
sun,
Sol.
like the grandparent, the grandchild.
The dragons often hatched from eggs that lied in the heart of celestial bodies. His egg was in the heart of the great sun itself, the largest star in the sky.
Oh. Is the sun a star? I thought the stars were the little dots in the sky at night.
And the sun is the largest star, so large you can still see it during the day.
That makes sense.
Sol was the one that gifted me with these horns. Sol was generous. Nothing made Sol happier than to see the blooming of flowers or the sight of kith dancing in the fields, basking in his wonder. Sol was the one that banished the 10,000 daemons that threatened to swallow up Haeth with the power of his heat and radiance. Hence why this month is called Devil Days, for his banishment of those devils.
Bhaloo, are we devils then? Because Sol is hitting me up a lot lately.
Storytelling is not my strength. Wish granting, however, is.
Do you have a wish you wish for, Bhaloo?
Well, given the beauty of this place and the flowers that grow, I think he would kind of look to his feet and then look up a little, like shyly, at Velasco. Well, great one, I have found that traversing the Viridian marches is difficult for me given my feet. And my back is not as good as it should be to hopscotch across. If you would do me the kindness, great one, allow me the ability to pass as I would and not crush anything beneath my feet.
Velashku's horns glow even brighter, but this time with an inner light. And appearing in front of you is a mote of light that stretches, turns, and dances until floating in front of you is a beautiful scarf that is Bhaloo's favorite color. It has golden embroidery with all a manner of leaves and flowers on it. What color is it, Bhaloo?
The color of the sash is surprisingly enough, a gentle Viridian green, because that that was the color of Bhumi's eyes.
When you wear this sash, no flower or vegetation will be crushed underneath your feet.
I think he will just accept the sash and like with a deep bow, and just kind of look at the sash in reverence, and that is tinged with a little bit of like melancholy, because he sees Bhumi's eyes, like looking back at him. He would just quietly step back and gently wrap the sash around him. Thank you.
Velashku looks, you're most welcome. Velashku looks to Ricardo.
Ricardo will look towards Mortimer and say, "Hey, Mortimer, maybe you can ask something along the lines of getting inspiration for a new poem or something of the sort. I'm sure that will help you a lot. Or maybe a place where you can find this inspiration."
Oh, yeah. Mortimer steps forward. Um, I wish to be able to write myself and Aaron, and Mortimer takes Aaron's hand, and Aaron's like, "Oh, uh, I want to be able to write a poem, the perfect poem in your honor that Aaron could make into a song." Blashku looks over at Aaron. I wish the same thing. And you see them like, you see Aaron holding Mortimer's hand tighter with a shimmer of joy in his eyes. Hmm. Both of you close your eyes. They both close their eyes. And Velashku's horns once again glow with that same inner light. And you all hear this beautiful, beautiful song. It's just pure music, flutes, strings, words, meaning, and then it's gone. You can't remember what it sounded like. You don't think you'd ever be able to write it down or even hum it, but you felt it. You felt the song from the dawn of creation
Oh.
that can sing forests to life. And they both open their eyes, and their eyes are glowing with the same golden light as the horns. And then they blink and they return to normal. Mortimer's like, thank you. And it's like, yes, thank you. You both have much work to do. And they kind of like step back. And it's at this point Louise comes over and she takes her hand in your hand, Ricardo. You should ask for a wish.
I'm thinking of something, yeah.
It's
I would
your
like
turn. Mine's kind of heavy, like a stone at the bottom of a river.
Hmm.
So you ask first. For me, please.
Ricardo will just stay there, looking a bit towards the side. And Ricardo will step forward while talking with Giant Beetle. I wish for me, Bhaloo, Samael, Chuki, and Luis to be able to find our home.
And it's that moment. The horns glow. The pact is sealed. A season's oath. You feel it. Velashku looks at you and says,
Can I ask it for so many people? I don't know if that's valid as a wish. Is it illegal?
His laughter fills the forest with warmth and joy as the horns glow. And he says, no. You will find your home. Continue traveling along these lands, and you will find it. Until then, I shall give you this. And you, what looked a mote of light comes off of his carapace and floats over to you as a beautiful iridescent shard of his carapace is in your hand. This is my promise that one day, before you draw your final breath, and not a moment later, you will all find home.
Thank you. I don't wish to find it soon. I want to have this last a little bit longer.
I know it is in your heart. Carry that with you as a symbol of my promise.
Thank you. And he'll start going towards the beetle. Maybe a legend bat. And he starts patting the side. I feel like you very much like those that talk about the heroes.
Thank you. Little one, why is there sadness in your eyes? Oh, it's because I don't know if I should be asking this. It's not really. I mean, it is my wish, but. And she just looks worriedly at Bhaloo. And I'm gonna. And she steps forward. Can I whisper it? Well, I, I, I'm just not feeling scared.
Cheerling, he will call out. If this is something that you are feeling nervous about, what did we discuss the last time you two said? Remember that words can cut deeper than any blade, but they can also heal more than any spell or tea ever could. And your words would never hurt me because I know that as much as you might like to deny it, you love me and I love you.
Okay.
If you would like, I can close my ears or go a little bit away to give you privacy that you need to ask.
No. I just needed to hear that. You can stay. She steps forward.
He would kind of like, step forward and like with a little bit of tears in his eyes, he would just kind of go and lean down, bump his forehead against hers, and then step back.
She turns around. She goes to the edge of the water, and she looks at Velashku dead in the eye. She reaches into her satchel. Great Velashku. And pulls out a portrait and holds it up. I would like Mama Boomy to be alive again and be with us so we can be a family. As she pulls out the portrait of Boomy that you had her draw and holds it up to Velashku. It is done. And his horns start to glow. The paper comes out of her hands, floats in the air in the middle of the pond, it glowing with the same illumination as the horns. And then it dips down into the water, and then the water starts to ripple and illuminate with light. And then the ripples come back in, and out of the middle of the pond, you see a glowing golden form. And it slowly takes on the shape of Boomy, the outline as she starts stepping across the water. And with each step, she becomes less and less glowing and more real until she gets to the shore and the light whoosh flashes throughout the entire area. And Boomy, alive and healthy once again in her sari, falls over to her knees. What do you do?
The moment she stepped onto the ground, like I think he would have collapsed to his knees. But as soon as he saw that she was starting to fall, he would have burst forward to catch her before she hit the ground. Uh, Dear heart,
Oh, what happened? I was in the other land, and now I'm here. What what has happened?
I do not. And he
Louise is
would
like, did I do something wrong?
cheerily. No, I, I think he would just he would have looked to Louise once to reassure, but then gone straight back to looking at Bhumi, and he just uh yeah, I think he would choke back a sob and then just like uh squeeze her, putting his head into the crook of her neck, and just, you're alive. You are back.
I don't know what brought me back, but it felt like sunlight and warm. I don't know how.
My
She looks,
dear heart.
she gives you the biggest kiss. And Louise goes over and just wraps her arms around them both. This is a very rare wish, and one that I am glad to give. All I ask is that you all take this moment to enjoy the light of one another. Be blessed, for it is difficult to be the last of one's kind, and it warms my heart to see that you all have one another. Velashko, once again, in a burst of wind, takes flight.
I uh, I would just call out like, "Great one! When I come to the Viridian marches next, I shall make an extra special tea for you. Thank you."
And so, all of our friends stand there in the camp. Mama Boomy have returned, expressing excitement for a life on the road. Louise, happy that she has a mother. Ricardo, holding a carapace permeated with the most powerful of magic and the most powerful of promises that one day you will find a home, having witnessed the first step of that home
I was just
right
about to
before
say that,
your
yes.
right before your eyes. You see Mortimer and Aaron, deeply inspired, writing and preserving an ancient song while slowly falling in love. And with that, we conclude our journey in the Viridian Marches. And next week, the journey continues of a season's oath. Thank you all so much for joining us on this very, very special journey. It has been very emotional. I am Okami. I am your guide. My pronouns are he, they. Please join us next Sunday for the next chapter of this journey. Also, we'll be having a special a season's oath interlude with some new characters. Raising funds for charity over on Apochromatic Unlimited next Saturday. So if you want to get double the Wanderhome, it's going to be next weekend. Also, come back, join us on House of Dreams this Thursday for the next episode of Dead at Heart for a very different kind of story, for some Vampire the Masquerade goodness. But for now, my players, please tell people who you are and where they can find you. We'll go ahead, and this time we'll start with Aadi.
Hello, people of the internet. I am Aadi MK. You can find me at Aadi MK on Blue Sky, Noonlight Creations on both Instagram and Twitch, where I am. I run a D&D homebrew campaign called the Tides of Atlantis. It's a calamity game, and but we're still a year away from the calamity. So of course, only the players know that, not the characters. But yeah, I do things at Pantsless Tables. I've started doing things on the House of Dreams. And I am just wondering now what Chuki is going to say when she
Yeah,
comes.
I was thinking about that.
Oh, shit.
I left you alone for one evening.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's, Tomas, please see us out.
All right. Well, my name is Tomas Gimenez Rioja. My pronouns are he, him. I have been Ricardo, the Axolotl, and you can find me everywhere on the internet, pretty much on Blue Sky, Twitch, not X anymore, but Instagram, all that stuff. But yeah, with the username T, letter T, then Gimenez, like my username, Gimenez, and the letter R after it, GM. Pretty long, but you may be able to find me over there, or just search Tomas Gimenez Rioja on the internet, and I suppose I should appear somewhere here or there.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Super props to Theater Kallum, our producer for tonight, and super props to Dem and Nano, our artists, and Forta-Ver, our graphic designer. Have an amazing night, and we will see you next Sunday.